Writing a book blurb is just as tricky as writing the book. So what is a book blurb? A book blurb is the contents on the back cover of your book. It's also the book description on Amazon and KDP Publishing. It's a huge part of marketing, so it's super important. Just like when you write a book, your first paragraph, it needs to have a hook in it, something to grab the reader and get them to want to keep reading. Your book blurb or your book description needs to have a hook as well, because you want to have a catchy first part of it to get someone to keep reading your book blurb and then to get them to read your book. Now you want to introduce your main characters. Give the readers a snapshot of their personality. You can't give it all away, but you can just let them see who your main characters are. And then ask yourself, what's the main conflict in the story? And give the readers what that is. Make sure the book blurb is representative of the actual contents in your book. That's super important. And then once you've done all of that, you have to edit it. Do not forget the editing. Just as much as editing is important to the manuscript and the actual contents of the book, the editing is important to your book blurb and your book description as well. So your book blurb should be 300 words or less. And what I want to do now is I want to read to you a section of the book blurb for the new book that we have coming out in the electrical saga, The Uprising. 20 years after a virus wiped out 80% of the world's population, Aurora and Blaze, twin sisters, have been genetically altered to control electricity. They are groomed their entire lives to serve King Corp, the company that controls everything in the aftermath of the EV virus. So notice what I did. I introduced my main characters, I told a little bit about them, and the main conflict, just enough to get your interest, and you want to read it now, don't you? So now I want to talk about how do you optimize your book blurb and your book description for Amazon and KDP Publishing. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look at your first couple of lines, because in the listing for your book on Amazon, they're only going to show the first couple of lines. So you got to make sure those are really good and that you have a good hook. Don't forget to put your keywords in your first paragraph so that it ranks when people do searches and it's easier for people to find it. Remember that your book cover is first. It's got to stop the scroll, so make it good. And then your book description is what's going to get your readers. So make sure that it's all really good, stop the scroll, and get you some readers. Thanks for joining me. I'll catch you in the next video.